Sound Off. Horry and Georgetown counties, we welcome you back to Sound Off. Again, Sound Off is heard weekly on your favorite radio station. It's always our goal at Sound Off to deal with topics that are relevant to you, the community, and always relevant to our young people. Sound Off is honored to be sponsored by Avant Auto Repair, located at 3411 Kates Bay Highway here in Conway. And we are also so excited to have our very special guest. Y'all give it up once again for Mrs. Tiffany Murray. Yeah. The branch manager at NBSC, located in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Good morning once again to you, Mrs. Murray.
Good to see you.
And Sound Off crew, would you like to reintroduce yourselves at this time?
Get up and get moving. It's your girl, Jonica.
Hey guys, it's Emily.
How y'all doing? This is Raekwon.
And again, we're really excited because this show is definitely an empowerment show, and I so appreciate the fact that Mrs. Murray was willing to come in and you are giving us such vital information, and I'm sure Horry and Georgetown counties really appreciate it. So let's jump back in. Let's talk about, our young people, even if they have a part-time job, to put themselves in a position that later on in life, they got to do what they have to do now so they can do what they want to do later. Let's talk about the importance of saving and budgeting.
Okay, we can do that.
All right.
When you budget, it helps you that keeps you in line also with keeping up with good credit. If you know how to budget, then you're going to have good credit because you're going to put money aside in order to pay your bills.
Okay.
It also helps you to save for the future. You need to learn how to put money aside for a rainy day, for, everyone that wants a car, you're going to have to pay car taxes.
That's right.
And that only comes up once a year for paying car taxes or your tag renewal, things like that. You have to have that money put aside because before you know it, that time comes up and you got a brand new car and your taxes is $500. Well, if you're not saving, then you're not going to have anything to pay it.
That's right.
With. So it's just so important. It also helps you to avoid unexpected expenses. Anything could happen with your vehicle. If you don't have a brand new vehicle and you have a used vehicle, you might need a set of tires.
Okay.
And you need that money, and you don't want to take all the money that you have that you work for, but at least you could have a little bit in your savings. That way you can take some out of there to put with the money that you're working. Right. And that way you can still have a cushion in your savings account, and then you can still have some money in your checking account.
Excellent.
Good so, you want to keep some money. Some people, they get the money and they don't want to put anything aside. And then when things like that come up, if you don't have anyone that can help you, then, all your money's just gone.
Wow.
That's why it's so important to save.
Good information. Okay, Ray, what did you have, sweetie?
I wanted to know what are some of the dangers of possessing a credit card?
Well, some of the dangers is, it's easy, like I said, just to hand off credit card and say, here you go, because you don't see any cash going, so you're handing them that credit card, and before you know it, you're over the limit. And when you get a credit card, if your limit's $500 and you pay, then they start increasing your limit, and then you think to yourself, oh man, I had $500, now I have $1,000, and you just keep passing that card on. It can really rack up and you'll be in debt before you know it. And then you won't be able to afford your minimum payment a month, which you should be paying more than your minimum payment. But if you have a credit card and your interest rate is, a lot of them is like 24%, then your payment can get up to $100. I mean, how are you going to make that if you're not really making any money?
Right, exactly.
So it's so important not to get those credit cards and max them out because it's going to be so hard for you to pay them off. And you want to pay back what you borrowed. You don't want to pay back, if you had $1,000, bought $1,000, you don't want to pay back $1,500.
Oh.
Because the interest adds up onto that. Every time you can't pay it off, that's interest every month, just adding back on. So it's so important just to only buy what you need. That's a big problem. People always buy things that they want.
Right.
And you need to buy things that you need.
Wow.
And try to make that a habit of saying, if I can't pay for it cash, then I don't need it.
Good advice. Emily, what did you have, sweetie?
What are the advantages of having a credit card?
Some of the advantages of having a credit card is, you go to a lot of places and they don't want to accept a debit card for payment, or they don't want to accept cash. They want a credit card. So, and the reason why they want to do that is because with a debit card, no one really wants them to hold that money out of their checking account. So what they do is they put a hold on the amount that you're going to use for the car rental.
Right.
So no one really wants to hold on their money in their checking account. So that's why they require a credit card, because they can take whatever's on your credit limit. Let's say the car's $300 to rent. Then they'll hold that $300 till you get back with the rental car, make sure there's no damages or anything like that. And then they'll charge $300 to your credit card. But they'll hold that amount out of your credit card balance, out of your high credit limit. Let's say your limit is $1,000. They'll hold that $300 until you bring the car back. But if you have a checking account and you've got things going through your checking account, anything could happen that you might not have calculated for, and then your account's in the negative because they're holding your $300.
Right. And you know what, I'm thinking about the fact that sometimes, like you in between, pay period or what have you, with a credit card, if you're using it wisely.
That's
See,
right.
I might, if I need to go to Walmart or
That's
some
right.
sort, and then I can use my credit card, but then be responsible enough to pay it off when the bill
That
comes.
was going to be my next thing.
Okay.
A lot of people get credit cards, and like she just said, you might be between pay periods and you don't want to get your account below a certain amount.
Right.
So you use your credit card until you get paid. It might just be a couple of days, just say 3 days. And then that way you can use your credit card, and then when you get paid, then you just go and pay it back. So that's an advantage. That's like a safety net for you to have. Also, you can get perks on an airline perks. If you get the credit card and you pay it off every month, you can get airline perks. You can also get rewards points where the points rack up, and then you get a gift card to wherever that company might offer you to get a gift card from. So it's definitely an advantage to have a credit card, but only if you're using it responsibly.
That's the key. Responsibly. You hear that, right? What did you have, Jonica? Yeah, you got to be responsible. I'm telling you. Such good information, Miss Murray. What did you have, Jonica?
I would like to know the difference between having a credit card and a debit card.
Okay.
They look the same.
Well, the debit card, that's the money that you have in your checking account. So when you use your debit card, that money's coming out of your checking account.
So your limit is whatever how much money you have in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But remember, a lot of people do this too. They use those debit cards and they forgot about those checks that they wrote.
Right, exactly.
So that means that when the checks come in, if the
They
debit
bounce.
if debit card purchases have already been made, then your checks are going to bounce. So on the credit card, a credit card is something that you get that you're paying the creditor back. We're giving you credit. We're giving you a card for $500. That's something that you owe us back. Once you use it, you have to pay it back, and there's also interest on it.
Like borrowing money from your mom or something.
That's basically what it is. But except for you would have to be paying her interest back on it.
Oh Lord, no.
Yeah. So a credit card versus a debit card is your debit card is money that you have in your checking account. A credit card is something that you're borrowing from, whether it be a bank, whether it be a department store, whether it be a gas card, plus the interest. Girl, I can't even see my husband being a banker, please.
Okay, hold
Well, I don't know what's up.
I think a thing will pop up for it to say your password.
on.
If not,
It will, yeah.
Yeah, your pot's better now. Girl, on Saturday
That's
morning.
right, she got her
On
automatic.
Saturday mornings, I'm in my bed listening to sound off on the phone.
Yeah,
don't even cut it
I
down.
remember hearing your voice, and I think
Michelle, right?
no. Yeah, I've heard Ray too. Yeah, Donica. Yeah. Yeah, Vicky's coming.
Okay, got it.
Oh, y'all got good things though.
These college people in here, y'all better listen to what I said.
Yeah, that was listen. Did y'all? That was good. Ray was. I know that was good information.